Part 11. I can't live without him, Wang. You can't die. Please don't die. Tears rolled down Lan Wangji's cheeks. When was it all going to stop? Why couldn't they just be together and be happy? His path is much more treacherous than yours. He might not survive, the monk had warned him. No, Lan Wangji said to himself, I won't let it happen, I'll find a way. He sat there contemplating until he remembered another thing the monk had told him. There was a way to save him. Only one couple has ever succeeded, the monk had warned. Since the scroll has revealed itself to you once, it's not impossible for you to succeed. But the path you are trying to take is not easy, and it is guarded by a locked gate. 2 keys must be used simultaneously to unlock the gate. You cannot do this alone, you must do it together. You must be in full agreement. Lan Wangji looked at his sleeping husband. I've been pushing you away and hurting you for too long. Loving you and wanting you while hating you at the same time. Hating myself for loving you because I let others influence me and make me believe our love was an abomination. I did this. I will do whatever it takes to save you, he vowed silently. Zhu Jun was approaching. There was a knock on the door. Went out. But it would be too rude to deny his brother. He was the clan leader, and they were living on clan property and eating clan food. He went to open the door and gestured to his brother to come in. What did the physician say? Zhu Jun asked. I think you already know. Zhu Jun nodded. He looked very uncomfortable. After a long pause he finally said, Uncle wanted me to ask if you would return to be Grand Master once all this is over. He looked embarrassed to be asking. Who is Grand Master now? Sijue. Sijue? Isn't he doing an adequate job? Lan Wangji had groomed Sijue to replace him for years. He is doing an excellent job. He is the best Grand Master we ever had. I mean, Zhu Jun looked even more embarrassed. I understand. Lan Wangji knew that on the technical side he was close to flawless. But his interpersonal skills had never been good. People thought he was arrogant, standoffish, difficult, demanding. He could make a book of all the negative things he had heard people say about him when they thought he was out of earshot. Why would Uncle want me back if Sijue is doing such a good job? Because he is a Wen. Ridiculous. Lan Wangji's eyes flashed with anger. The clan adopted Sijue when he was 3 years old. It was true that his uncle had objected at the time because he was a one, but Lan Wangji had insisted, saying that he would leave if the boy wasn't taken in. As angry as his uncle was with him at the time, he didn't want to lose him, so he acquiesced. Once adopted Sijue became a Lan, uncle can't let go of what they did to us. He still harbors resentment. Sijue wasn't even born then, and he is from the Qishan Wens who never participated in any of the atrocities, though they had been hunted down and killed along with the rest of the Wens. Lan Wangji was seething. But this is a pointless discussion, he said. Even if I wanted to, I cannot return to being Grand Master. I lost my headband. I am no longer a member of the Lan clan. You're my brother, we can reinstate you. No, Lan Wangji said firmly. We won't be staying. Where will you go? That's something we will decide together. And if Wei Wuxian doesn't? Lan Wangji knew what Zhu Jun was hinting at. I won't be staying. Where would you go? With him. You can't mean that. Zhu Jun was almost shouting. Lan Wangji had never heard his brother raise his voice even a decibel. I can't live without him. You've done it before. There was a plea in Zhu Jun's voice. That was different. I can't live without him now. Back then Lan Wangji believed in his heart that Wei Wuxian would return someday. That belief and little Sijue, Yuan, whom he had rescued from the burial mounds, were what kept him going. Wei Wuxian thought of Sijue as his son, so Lan Wangji raised him for him, pouring all his love for Wei Wuxian into the boy. The boy was a man now, and didn't need him. If Wei Wuxian died now, there would be no coming back. He would be gone forever. One way or another, Lan Wangji was going to stay with Wei Wuxian, even if it meant sharing a grave with him. Wangji, if he means so much to you, why did you leave? Zhu Jun probed. I didn't. You didn't leave? You were here the whole time? Zhu Jun looked thoroughly confused. I was taken. Taken? By whom? Where did? Zhu Jun was in shock. Doing something like that to a cultivator of his brother's ability was no small feat. I don't know who or how. I was on another world. Another world? This is not the time to discuss what happened to me. I need to focus on Wei Wuxian. Lan Wangji said firmly. Zhu Jun heard the finality in Lan Wangji's voice and knew he wouldn't get any more out of him. I will tell uncle you won't be staying. Zhu Jun looked defeated. It was pointless to try and reason with his brother when he was like this, especially when it had anything to do with Wei Wuxian. Lan Wangji closed the door behind his brother and stood there. Wei Wuxian approached him from behind, put his arms around his waist, and rested his head on his shoulder. How much did you hear? Lan Wangji asked him. Enough. A few minutes passed. Lan Wangji turned around so he could hug Wei Wuxian back. Promise me you won't die, he whispered. I promise. They both knew he meant it. They also knew he might not be able to keep that promise.